Welcome to part 2 of assembling our shadow boxes. In part 1, we talked about all the supplies. In part 2, we're actually going to take these supplies and make different ideas by putting them together in boxes. So you can take items from home and just have fun with it, play around.
Small toys,
so I hope you enjoy this video.
Small bottles, small books, some more nail decals, toys, little birds, sometimes just small beads. They're tiny beads. This was actually on a pair of jeans. Look at the little dice. Small money, little animals, some beautiful crystals, and even game items. We also have stickers, these small pieces of wood, lots of different mushrooms, small vase, a little pitcher. We have these little bowls. You can put some of these smaller items in. So just because you save an object and if it doesn't fit your style, you know that you can always modify it before starting. That's where you can use things like washi tape or scraps of cloth to Mod Podge in, or tape inside, or beautiful paints to paint it.
But we're not going to Mod Podge or paint today. Instead, we're going to be concentrating on assembling different types of shadow boxes to give you ideas for your projects at home.
Here's some examples of some quick ideas of miniature shadow boxes that I put together. This one here was the pill box. Of course, they're not glued down because these are just for ideas. This is a bead, and you can put a picture in there with the little bear. This one has some crystals and a ladybug. This is like a tiny bookshelf with a bead. This one, put the little zebra with a tiny cloud and a bead. This one would be so cute for Valentine's Day, and look how tiny it is. See how small that is? This is so fun because it's chocolate, it has hearts, a rose, more hearts. And here's the tiniest one. There's 3 gummy bears in there. You could even paint that, maybe something black so these stand out. Here's the next set of examples. As I mentioned before, these aren't glued down, but this could be sort of a Jurassic scene. I actually painted the moon. We have the dinosaur, we have leaves. Is it meteorite, asteroid? I can't remember, but that actually is from space. We have this one that's sort of woodland creature type one. I think it'd also be fun if you have a fairy sticker. The fairy could go here, but lots of greenery, little items. See the hedgehog, mushroom, the frog. If I were actually gluing them, I could put them in place. Then we have this one, I made a dessert board. You have the cupcake and all these sweet things. You could also use stickers too. This one I thought, what if I take some fun miniature red items? So we have this tiny, I think one dice is called a die, right? Little mushroom. I thought we could take one of these miniature decals. I could take a miniature decal like the red one and put it on the top there. So there's a few more examples of some items you could make. Here's some more items. I'm gonna try to be careful showing you, but this could be a set of animals. There's a little cloud here, but I would put it up here. I would glue it up there. This one could be childhood toys. Toys from your childhood. Maybe you have some favorite ones. Just imagine it without this rubber here though, and maybe put a cool background. I was trying to make a terrarium here. The mushroom doesn't fit inside, but if I had a smaller mushroom, it could go inside. Or I could even use one of these nail decal mushrooms. And then I took the lid and I also made a miniature terrarium. See the little moss and the mushroom? This one was a dollhouse furniture. So I thought, okay, let me put some books on there. And then here I put a little scroll, a deck of playing cards, as if it's somebody's house and they're sticking things in here. This had just a miniature rock and a bead. Then I hung some stuff on here. I put the zebra hanging down and a pair of glasses. And I thought for the top, this beautiful blue picture could go on top, or this vase of roses would be really beautiful on top as well. You could also take a small bowl like this. You could fill it with some objects, and that could go on top. Because you can think where things go against the wall, or if you have a flat surface like that, you could think of things that go horizontally. That's what's really fun about miniatures. Now it doesn't fit in there, but if it did, you could even stick a bowl in there, something tiny, like this lid from earlier. Well, I guess that doesn't fit there, but if it did, there's just so many ways that you can display your favorite objects. I took this slice of wood and I thought you could even make a fun miniature scene on there. This seems like it could go on a tabletop because it's flat. However, if you were to put against a wall, you could move the bird that way, glue it that way. So you could think of 2 different ways
to do everything. Here's some more ideas. This one is a black and silver. You could do it by color. All blue, all pink, all red. Just random things. You could put it in rows, just like this one. I was trying to make like an apothecary type situation. So I took this cardboard and made a shelf in there. Then I put potions on top, crystals on bottom. I was even thinking these pretty bubble-like beads would be pretty on the top here, as if all these potions are bubbling over. There's a very tiny one. I could imagine there being a tiny fairy or butterfly in there. This is sort of like a bookshelf, I thought. So we have the books here. You could even take a small marker and you can write on it, write words of your choosing. I know this is a little too big for the shelf, but you could remove that top and that could go in there. Some pretty gems. And then this one is the bottle cap. This could just be a tiny nature scene in the bottle cap. So see, this is the shelf I made. Of course, I would make it nicer if I were actually inserting it in there, but then I could glue it and make it a shelf. And you could do that as many times as you need to make various shelves inside of these, including something like this would be great with some shelves. Here's some more ideas. I saw this sticker of a cafe and I was thinking of making this a cafe. Something to read, something to drink. There's a little spoon. I think it got lost in there. Maybe even have a vase of flowers. I like these stickers because they have a lot of household objects. So those would be great in the cafe, a lot of them. Another was taking the same idea before as silver and black, but we could make one of yellow and orange. This one is a tiny little casino. I was trying to think of more ideas for this tiny one, and here's some ideas. One is these little paw prints. Look how sweet those are. Could do one in each cubby. Here's a small bowl of crystals. You could fill this with crystals inside there. You could take the nail decals and choose one sticker per cubby. Remember, it could go long ways on the wall, or it could go sideways, kind of like 3 cubbies in a row. So you could imagine 3 stickers, 1, 2, 3. One other idea is to be interactive with your miniatures. So here's like a little envelope purse, and you open it. I put 2 plain cards in there. But say that you write yourself a secret note. You could stick it in there, and then you could pull it out. And that could go directly onto somewhere as well, and then it's interactive. So people can open it and read what's inside if you want them to. I was also thinking this would be a great one to hang into the cafe because it's like a frame, and you could write the words cafe or espresso and stick it there on the wall. I think this scroll can serve as an interactive element. It actually unrolls and then you could write on top of it. It might even fit inside there if you unroll it and put it in half. Or you could do something where you take a vase and stick it in there. I appreciate you watching this tutorial. I hope one of them will work for you and you can make some fun art for your home.